Hello friends, today I wanted to talk about another Necromancer build for Season 12, or, well technically it's PTR 2.6.1 right now. And this is another play your way kind of build, just, you know, be the beautiful rainbow that you are on the inside. Now, this build is, may be able to do T13 with good gear, but with T10 it destroys T10, and it's just, it's a ton of fun. You move so fast, over 200% movement speed. And the main reason I wanted to play this is because I wanted to play around with the new Blood Tide Blade, which makes it so Death Nova deals 100% increased damage for every enemy within 25 yards. To get Blood Nova, you'll know that there's no Death Nova in the actual build at all, and that's because we're going to be using the Iron Rose, which makes it so when you attack with Blood or Siphon Blood, there's around a 50% chance to cast a free Blood Nova. Kind of a fun interaction here, and you can see why right out of the gate. This is definitely like a niche build, and that it only, you know, only going to be fun for a certain group of people. But I tell you what, I'm having a blast. So let's talk about the build first. So we're going to be using Siphon Blood. I'm using Power Shift on it because it does do some decent damage. Right now the build is kind of set up where we're going to buff the primary damage skill, even though the Blood Nova is still going to be where a lot of the damage comes from. We're using Frailty, Aura of Frailty, just all around good skill. Bone Armor, Harvest of Anguish. Now, this guy right here, I love it. Makes you go. We're going to be going 15% faster from this because we're going to be using the necklace. Wisdom of Kalan. And you could also use Dislocation to stun enemies, which might technically be better because then you'd be getting the second part of Crispin's sentence, because right now we don't actually activate that. So you might want to opt for Dislocation here. We're going to be using Blood Rush Potency. This gives you more armor. You probably don't need this for T10. I was messing around with this on higher torments, and I found myself a little bit squishy, and so I just kept it around. Never hurts to have the extra armor, but, you know, try it out. Using Devour Cannibalize, I really do enjoy that numlock trick, and this just helps keep you alive, so all around good stuff. And then Decrepify Opportunist, because we can get an additional 30% movement speed. That's what I'm talking about here. For passives, we got Standalone, Swift Harvesting. You want to attack fast with this build because it's the only way we get those Blood Novas to proc. We have to be attacking. And then Fueled by Death because it has been fixed, thankfully. And then just Spreading Malediction for a little bit more damage. So let's talk about the items. We're going to be using the Inarius set because it's a nice set for just standing on top of things. Your Bone Armor is giving you extra damage, and then everyone takes more damage from Bone Armor. And so stuff like Blood Nova will be doing even more damage. Good set for this. We have the Helm, Invite Crit, good stuff here. You could also get rid of the Vitality for Blood Nova. We're using the Shoulders. I do have cooldown on the Shoulders. Now, as the build is right now, cooldown is 100% not necessary. But I just left it on there for the time being. What else could we get, actually? Let's take a quick check. Sneak peek. So we could get, oh, actually Bone Armor might be useful. Okay, so we should probably have Bone Armor on here. Honestly, armor, life percent, both of those would be better than cooldown. As the build is right now, you do not need cooldown reduction, so you know you don't need that. Armor, invite art. This is good stats here. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, okay, good. You could opt for the Bone Armor damage increase here, but honestly, I don't know. We're having the armor buffs, and it does help out a lot. And check out how fast we get to move. All right, sorry. Back to the skills. For the necklace, we're using the Wisdom of Kalan. This is going to give us more Bone Armor stacks. I do have attack speed on here. Now, I haven't done a ton of research into if there's certain breakpoints we should be trying to get to, and I just wanted to get the most amount of attack speed I could and just try it out. So we're sitting at 1.78 attack speed per second. So it's almost 2 a second. But, you know, standard stuff otherwise. I'm using Nemesis Bracers just because I love them. Physical damage is being buffed, which might seem odd. However, Blood Nova, which is in the Death Nova tree, is a physical skill. So that's why I've opted to use physical damage buff on the bracers. Gloves, again, we got for the attack speed, crit damage, crit chance, and int. We're going to be using Deity's Binding And I love this. Look at this. They changed it so it's not just Decrepify. Any curse gives you the damage, the bonus damage reduction. Now, we are having to use it to Decrepify in the build, but you don't need it to get the damage buff in other builds. That's fantastic. We're using Brig's Wrath. This sucks all the enemies wherever you're casting your curses. Love it. Love it. And we got Depth Diggers. Again, we're trying to buff up Siphon Blood damage. Just seems like a good idea. I don't know. It's so fun. I can't help it. I'm so excited for you guys to actually see the build in action. Then we're using Crispin Sentence. As the build is set up right now, we do not proc the triple bonus damage from this. Now we could, like I said, use Dislocation on Bone Armor. You could use Decrepify, Dizzying Curse for a chance to stun. Both of those are okay. If I had to pick between the two, I'd probably use Dislocation, which would then make cooldown reduction more useful, because then you can, use Bone Armor more often and stun things around you. But, I guess that's up to you to decide what you want to do. For now, for the time being in this build, since T10 is pretty easy, I just wanted to go as fast as humanly possible. Inarius' boots, standard stuff, defensive, and then you can actually grab the Death Nova damage, so that's nice. Weapon, you're going to be using the Funerary Pick. Since we're going to be using Siphon Blood, you might as well use this because it makes it so it sucks it from 2 different targets. You'd be better off not having elite damage. I think it would be better with maybe, 10% increased damage. It's a fairly, it's actually a decent damage roll. So this is all around, it's all right. With the offhand, definitely that Iron Rose, because the whole build revolves around this Siphon Blood, Blood Nova combo. And, Death Nova damage, crit chance, and go from there. For legendary gems, we're going to be using, right now, okay, so there's kind of a few that I've been playing with. Bane of the Trapped, obviously, it's a must. And then I've been using Simplicity's Strength just because I've been trying to buff the damage of Siphon Blood. And, it's been working okay. And then I was finding myself I had a little bit hard time taking down enemies, like single target enemies. And so Bane of the Stricken, it seems like it fits in pretty well. Now, I wanted more attack speed, so I was playing with Pain Enhancer and the Gogok. I'm not sure, though. I haven't decided which ones I like the best. So, play around with these 5 here. See what you got going. And then in the cube, we got the Blood-Tide Blade again. This is new. It's changed. Love it. Same with Stewart's Greaves. Oh, it's so freaking fast. Like, you just move so fast with this build. It's so much fun. And then we do have a Ring of Royal Grandeur in the ring slot. I would rather put Crispin Sentence in the ring slot, or in the ring here, and then equip a Ring of Royal Grandeur. But believe it or not, I've somehow managed to disenchant all of my Rings of Royal Grandeurs on all of my characters. So on the PTR, I didn't have any, and I'm not doing bounties to get it, so it is what it is. In Paragon, we're pretending like we only have 800 Paragon, which, I actually don't have that high of Paragon to begin with, so whatever. Movement speed till you get to the max, 25 there, then dump the rest in intelligence. Then obviously, if you had to choose, worry about cooldown reduction last. And then life reduction, or life regeneration last, and then, whatever you want here. And so again, this build is not, it's not the best build you'll ever find for Necromancer, but I tell you what, it's so cool to go this fast. It's stupid. You'll end up going 230, 240% movement speed sometimes. It's just a riot to play. So I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I have, and I look forward to the next season. Talk to you later.